Welcome back with another Lifestyle with Kim Litvak. Again, today we are in the kitchen and we are talking all things ribs. This is part of a 3-part episode, if you will, of family favorites. Quick, easy, delicious. Can't wait to share them with you. So today I have baby back ribs, which are, well, they're my favorite rib to cook with. They're incredibly tender and they're just so easy. So here in Ohio, as many of you may know, we get a lot of rain and fall is approaching. So there's gonna be less and less time that we're gonna spend outside because it gets colder and colder until it gets too cold. So today I am showing you a foolproof method of ribs where you do not need to be outside. They come out perfectly every single time and everyone want to have your recipe. They are incredibly easy. Anyone can do this. It's really all about the method, and if you do it the same every single time, it comes out perfect every single time. Literally, I would challenge any restaurant. Mine are that good. Now today I've got a baby's back rib, which is my favorite thing to make. It's tender and it's just easy. I've already cleaned it and I've already patted it dry. Now on the back of ribs, a lot of folks may not realize this, but there's actually something called a silver skin. You want to remove that. Skin on chicken is awesome. Skin on ribs, not so awesome. So we're gonna remove that. It is a little tricky, so I am gonna grab a paper towel. And honestly, this is just in case. I may not need it. But you basically start to get your silver skin and you kind of separate it from the meat. Now, sometimes when it's too slippery, it's hard to grab a hold of, which this one is actually, let's knock on wood, is actually being kind of nice so far. But you just pull it. All the way down. And then you just discard that. Now that we've removed the silver skin, I will go ahead. Now, I do just 2 things, and that's why it's so easy. You don't need a ton of ingredients to make these. And now in the end, I will put sauce on them, some of the best sauce that I literally travel to go get, but you don't have to. Some folks don't like sauce on their barbecue. The most important thing when you're doing this is just to make sure that you have safety, because obviously we are dealing with raw pork. And the last thing we want is touching everything, making sure that we get all of our raw pork hands on everything. So I've gone ahead and taken the seasoning that I'm going to use, which has marjoram, garlic, onion powder, parsley, basil, like there's so many things, but use whatever you like. The point is customize it to your taste. It's more about the cooking method, but whatever kind of seasoning you like is perfectly good. Some folks like it a little sweeter. I don't have any sugar in my particular rub, but I've gone ahead and portioned it out so I am not trying to touch things when I'm doing this. Another thing I would like to do is just go ahead and rip off the foil that I'm going to use. I am using a heavy duty foil. I really love cooking. Fun fact about me, I really hate dishes. Anyone can attest that I try to do them as I go because it literally makes me a little insane. But I'll go ahead and just get this foil ready and set that aside. So again, we're not touching these, so we're not having to stop and wash our hands with every little thing that we're doing. This right here is olive oil, and why that sounds funny, because we're going to be cooking these low and slow. That's what makes them utterly delicious. But olive oil, I've just found I just like the flavor. You could do a neutral oil if you really like, but this just suits my taste. So what I do is I go ahead and I just pour over. I mean, there's no really set amount. You'll know when it looks good. You don't want to drown them. I will do the same step on both sides. So I'm going to take a little bit of my seasoning here. And I'm going to do this liberally. And so I've gone ahead and done that just on the first side here, and then just kind of rub it in a little bit. Just to make it even so you're not too much on any particular spot, but everything gets a little love. And don't be afraid to get in there with your food. And notice I do have one hand free, so I can turn the water and soak my hand up. And I'll do the same thing on this side. You'll love these. These will be a little spicy because I get a lot of seasoning on them. Now I have gone ahead and got clean hands again, but I need one more piece of foil. So I've gone ahead and wrapped up my ribs, and you're going to want to put these in a preheated 325-degree oven. So you definitely don't want to be any warmer than that. I have done them at 275 before, but at 325 it takes about 3 hours. You don't touch it, you don't check them, you don't turn them, you leave them, and you go about your day, which is absolutely phenomenal. So literally it couldn't be any easier. So I will put these now in the oven and let these go for about 3 hours and let my whole house smell like a summer barbecue. It'll be amazing. So now these are going into the 325 like I mentioned before for 3 hours. You don't need to open the oven, do anything with the oven. It's not gonna hurt you if you open it for a second, maybe to put something else in, but just put them in there and forget about it. And the oven will do all the work for you, and they'll come out perfect. Oh, dog. Now the next part is a little interesting. We're going to want to flip this over without burning ourselves. Now I do want to mention I did also do a little bit of nonstick spray on the foil just to make sure nothing did stick. And we're going to do our best to try and flip these over, because they're going to want to fall apart. Haha, we did it. And this is literally the best barbecue sauce. If you were anything like my childhood, my mom would put ribs in a whole bowl of barbecue sauce and she would bake them that way. They were tasty, they were wonderful, but it's just not necessary. So what you do is you just take your barbecue sauce and you just brush it on. Now since this is the underside, you don't need to do a ton, but you definitely want to have full flavor on all of your food, not just one side of it. And really, use sauce to your desire. If you like a lot of sauce, well, it's your prerogative. You do you, boo. I like mine with I want mine saucy. I just don't want them flooded in it, personally. You see those little burnt ends right there? Oh, those are gonna be so tasty. So perfect. So what the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put this back in the oven. However, now we have it on low, and it's only going to go 2 or 3 minutes. Now you do not want to leave them during this stage because they can burn very easily, especially since we have that sauce on them now. But that sauce is going to become kind of lacquerish, and then we'll flip them. We'll do it again, put them back in the broiler for a couple minutes, and then it's almost rib time. And so these went about 4 minutes under the broiler. And so I've already flipped them, which again is like surgery because right now they just want to fall apart. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to paint whatever your favorite sauce is. Now mine comes from Cincinnati. I will actually travel, and this is definitely not a sponsored video. But I just think they have the best sauce, and I will actually travel to go get it, which is Rib City's sauce. So if you're interested, I can leave the link below. But they're amazing. If you ever had a chance to get their ribs, they're really good. Yeah, these are going literally to be amazing. Just pour the rest on, because why not? We got it. And there we go. And we're gonna throw them back in the oven for just a few minutes to let that caramelize. Now you may be saying, do I really have to do the broiler step? And I mean, I guess not, but you've already spent so many hours making the perfect ribs. I mean, why stop there? Why not continue with the perfection and making it a little more caramelized on top, because that's where the good stuff is. So this will go to the oven about another 4 minutes on broil, give or take, but watch it because it may take less, and then we get to enjoy ribs. So now our ribs are perfectly cooked. Now it is time for the true test. How do they taste? So, as you can see, they're gonna literally fall right off the bone. There's nothing pretty about eating ribs, but they're tasty. You can always have a little bit of sauce on the side if you do so desire, but I think they're probably perfect just the way they are. Okay, we're just gonna have to go in. That's just how it's gonna be. Messy, they're fantastic. No way to do this without being messy. But as promised, cooked perfectly, come right off the bone, still have texture to them so they're not overcooked, and perfectly sauced. Can't wait to hear how much you've loved these, and I've certainly enjoyed making them for you. And I hope you folks have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you again for tuning in to hear all things about ribs that are literally, if not better than a restaurant. You made them at home. you didn't have to pay the price tag and they were delicious. So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and to tune in next week because this is a whole series of family favorites, and I can't wait to share the next one with you. Hit the bell down below so you don't miss any episodes.